Hello, guys. Welcome again. Welcome to Champions Minds MMA. I just wanna talk quickly about something that happened this Tuesday, this 2 days ago. This young kid, his name is Raul Rosas Jr. Now he has been given a contract through the Contender Series to fight in the UFC. But before I go any further, guys, I want you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and also I want you to share your comment, at the comment section below. So, anyways, for those of you who are not familiar with the Contender Series, it's sort of another version of the Ultimate Fighter. For if you know what the Ultimate Fighter is, the Ultimate Fighter is it's a show that the UFC run, but it run by season, to where they have a whole group of different fighters. They bring into a house. They train together. They have two groups, and they train together. And at the end, they go through some competition, and at the end, they will have a couple of guys will fight to become the Ultimate Fighter winner. So that's basic, but that goes by season. But as far as the Contender Series, it's another avenue where the UFC try to recruit fighters for the organization to keep replenishing the roster. It's every Tuesday, so they just have fighters from regional organizations, and a lot of them also come from overseas. They might have already been fighting as professionals in other countries, and they come in and they match them, with different fighters, and based on their performance, Dana White and the UFC, they sit together and look at them, and they decide who gets a contract and who doesn't. So anyway, and all this is what the Contender series are. So that kid, Raul Rosas Jr., he wanted to come into the UFC, but of course he was 17 years old, so he's underage. That has never happened before. So he reached out to the UFC, and they, apparently Dana White, sees, some of his fights and everything, his skills, because the kid is really skilled. So they had to go through, some extra process, as compared to normal and, adult fighters. But because I think they needed to have parental consent, some extra paperwork as far as because of his age. But eventually, he was cleared by the UFC and the commission. He was cleared to fight at the Contender Series, and also to be eligible to win a contract to come and fight in the UFC. So I saw him fighting this guy who is 25 years old, an adult. The kid is really good. So both of them are grapplers. So most of the fight took place on the ground. The other guy is very good, very good on the ground, but definitely Rosas was the one dominating the fight. He himself, Rosas, got caught a couple of times in some guillotine chokes, but he managed his way out of them, and he got the other guy in all sort of different, danger situation, near submission, but none of them came to fruition. So at the end of the fight just went all through all the 3 rounds, and Raul Rosas Jr. won a very comfortable unanimous decision from the judges. So then I was very, very impressed with this kid, and he talked so highly about his skills and everything. And I saw the kid in an interview. He's super, super interesting and very confident, and he's really, really motivated. So now we're gonna see, what his skills really are, because now he's being thrown into the lions then. So now he's in the UFC. He's gonna be a fighter like everybody else. So he's gonna be fighting anyone in the roster at any time. He's 17 years old, but he's gonna be fighting all those adults. Through the Contender Series, the guy he fought was 25 years old, and he said he's been fighting adults his whole life. But he said people don't understand. They saw him as a kid, but he said his skills are not those of a kid. So So yeah, so he's been awarded the contract along with some other fighters. So he's gonna be fighting. So my question to you guys: do you think that someone who is underage, a 17-year-old, should be fighting in the UFC or at any other fight competition? Because remember, this is not TNA wrestling. This is true fighting. Okay, those fights are real. I mean, people are truly trying to knock your teeth out, trying to knock your head off, with kicks, with punches, with everything. So trying to slam you, the hardest that they can on your head, on your back, onto, and in the octagon. So yeah, I mean, do you think an underage kid should be allowed to fight in the UFC? So I want you guys to leave your comment below. I'm an MMA fan. Yeah. So I'll let you guys tell me what. I'm not gonna share my opinion right now. I just want to see what you guys think, whether you think it should be a good thing for them to be allowed to fight. And also, with him being signed with the UFC right now, do you think that we're going to start seeing a lot more younger fighters coming into the UFC rosters? Because I am pretty sure there are some other kids out there, probably right here in the US and in different other countries, that are just as skilled, if not even more skilled. Because you're gonna find those kids out there, been in the gym with their dad since they were 1 year old, and they've been watching and they've been practicing, and they kind of go into the practice. They know it, they understand it, they live it, day in and day out, and they are very good, they are very skilled. I am pretty sure we're gonna start seeing some other fighters who gonna be coming forward and try to get Dana White and the UFC to sign them, through the Contender Series or through the Ultimate Fighter, to come and fight in the UFC. So yeah, guys. So do you think we should have underage kids fighting, 17-year-old fighting in the UFC, and also or any other fight organization? And also, do you think we're gonna start seeing more underage fighters because of Raul Rosas Jr.? Always a pleasure to talk to you guys. I can wait to come back again. There are some big cards coming into in the UFC. There, UFC 280, UFC 281. I'll be coming to talk to you guys about them. I'm pumped up about those cards, and I hope those of you who are already fans, I hope you're just as pumped as I am, and you're gonna be watching. And those of you who are not, I encourage you. UFC MMA is great. I encourage you to start watching, and you will enjoy it. So until I see you again, guys, peace out.